To Georgia now, and the Herschel Walker saga continues. More questions over the 2009 abortion that he allegedly paid for. The pro-life Republican candidate spoke with reporters after a campaign event in Wadley, Georgia, where he continued to deny the allegations. Joe Khalil is following the very latest on this from Washington this morning. Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Marty. So he basically tried to take ownership of the story and of the scandal, but quite frankly, it didn't really go well for Herschel Walker yesterday. He started off his day talking to Hugh Hewitt, a conservative columnist and radio host on his show, and he told Hugh Hewitt, again, he denied that the story is true. He did not, he says, ever pay for an abortion. But then he went on to say, if he did do that, if it were true, that he really would have nothing to be ashamed of, because he says people do that all the time. So then later in the afternoon, he held a press conference, and not surprisingly, he got questions asking him to clarify what's going on there. So first he was asked about those comments he made that morning, that he had nothing to be ashamed of. And his answer was he was talking about something totally different, which didn't make a whole lot of sense there. And then he was pressed again as to whether or not he had reached out to the mother of any of his children, because the story alleges that it was a mother of one of his children that is making this claim. He continues to deny, and he didn't really answer the question. He just said, no, I didn't do that because the story is false. And then he continued a little bit, and here's some of how he ended his response.
This here, the abortion thing is false. It's a lie. They're desperate to make this race about my family because they know they don't want to talk about Joe Biden and Raphael Warnock, what they've done to Georgia families.
So he continues to deny the story. The Daily Beast again saying that they have seen receipts with his signature on it. So this is not going away, Marty. I should just mention, too, we talked yesterday about how there was some Republican support sort of coalescing around Herschel Walker. We continue to see that today from elected officials, from many Republican figures, and from a lot of the conservative religious figures in Georgia. However, we don't really have a clear picture yet as to whether regular voters in Georgia are going to punish him or not, whether he has slipped in polls. We had one poll that actually showed that he had gone down in his polling. He's down 12 points just in one Survey USA poll to Raphael Warnock. 12 points is a big gap, but basically every other poll that we're seeing that we give credence to, it shows him between 3 or 4 points down. Now, we're going to have a lot more polling in the next couple of days, and I think that'll give us a better picture because now people have had time to digest the story a little bit. So we will get a clear picture, hopefully, in the next couple of days of where that race is. But, Marty, I've been nerding out on a lot of polls heading into the midterms. All of these battleground states are going to be very close. Georgia, up before this scandal, no different. They had been polling between 3 or 4 points, Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock. So if you look at the vast majority of them, there hasn't really been a dip, again, at least yet. In the coming days, we'll see if that changes. Marty?
Well, we certainly appreciate, Joe, that you nerd out on polls. It'll pay off as we get closer to these midterms. All right, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.